It's a language that the solicitors use to confuse people and judges use to confuse people. Legalese just simply means it's a language pertaining to those types of people, a type of parlaying meaning talking, where you actually don't understand what the hell they're talking about. In fact, most people don't understand, and they don't understand either. And that's what legalese means. If you go into the world of legalese, that's just word games, dualities in meanings. So one word has a multiple meaning. They pick one that most suits them and makes most money, and they accuse you of it. For example, parking. That's a good idea. Yeah, if I accuse you of parking, well, that's the legalese trick that they're playing on you, because it's their job to find out why you have stopped the car on the left-hand side. They don't know that you've parked, but if they use the word park, it comes with already a definition, which is to leave your car unattended and move on. Yeah, or to go home, like your handbrake, which is known as your parking brake. They don't call it handbrake, they call it a parking brake. So if you applied your parking brake and left off, that's what that means. That's legalese. They're playing word games with you. If you get caught up in their word games, you'll go round and round. What you have to do is know the words that you are talking about mean exactly what they mean. You ask anybody what does parking mean, they cannot tell you. Even though they've said, as a driver, I have read the highway code. And they're using that oath that you've taken the highway code and passed your test on it to know what you're talking about. They're squashing these, they're putting these things over your head because you have unknowingly agreed to know these words. Yeah, so that's what legalese is. It's just another word for a language, a different type of language, whether that's Gaelic or African, one of the African languages or whatever it is. It's just a language that legal people use to keep you confused and keep themselves confused. But most of the general public, as you would know, think a person is a dignified post where you are sex neutral, gender neutral. Okay, it's a polite way of talking to a person, a polite way of addressing person. But what you have told me, from what you have told me, it's actually a non-existent person. Yeah, it's a person that has no male or female. Yeah, it's neither a man or a woman, but a person. So what is a person? A person is an employee of a company or a corporation. And as a result, you are treated as an employee of a corporation, whether that be Ford, whether that be Barclays Bank. I think Barclays Bank is a PLC. Whoever it is. That's what it means. It means that you are pertaining to you pertain to their policies. As I have policies in this house. The policy is please don't smoke in this house. That's my policy.
Okay, so why do people have to abide by the policies of government?
They don't. Their job is to convince you that that's what the actual law of the country is, where it's just the policy of a factory floor.
But the general public, for example...
So the general public, the way they get caught out is they walk around saying that I'm a person, I have human rights, you know, you have to treat, I've got rights. So because they get caught up in this word game and they don't speak as man and woman, as a man and a woman would do in possession of their own thoughts, as opposed to a corporation employee, they're never in possession of anything. They always come under the jurisdiction of the language that the company created for them. So if I claim to be human and have human rights, well, human, as you know from your studies, means that you're a monster. And what does a monster cannot do? A monster cannot inherit wealth or health. Yeah, so you go around protesting at the pharmaceutical company saying that you haven't inherited any health. Well, why should you? You've claimed to be a human. Yeah, and your children walk running around saying that, you know, they've repossessed our house when they collapse the economy. And it is an engineered collapse because a monster cannot inherit wealth. It cannot inherit the offspring's wealth.
Okay.
So you go to court claiming to be a human being. You go to the human rights, blah, 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 claiming to be human, having rights. Well, rights is a mathematical term. It's a right angle. And as they would point out to you, there are many angles to being right. Yeah, it's in your face, as it were. So what is it that you're talking? Well, you're talking like a corporate employee that has rights on a factory floor. And it is up to them to decide how much of those rights or corners of the factory they're going to give you and what they're going to penalize you for if you keep speaking the way that you do.